This is the Bar Steward's Enquiry.
Right? You're talking absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish.
In what way?
You were an underachiever in life. I saved your bacon one time. You were gone.
You handled that well. I couldn't save you. But you did the right thing.
But that's why you don't know anything about racing, John.
I didn't say I do.
Right?
I'm saying that...
What have you contributed to racing? You're one of these take-out merchants. Take out all you can.
Hello and a very warm welcome to the Bar Stewards Enquiry Weekend Podcast. It's Ayr Western Meeting Weekend. It is, of course, the Ayr Gold Cup Silver Cup, and we've got Newbury as well to bolster the television cards. And if you're Irish fans, it's Listowel for you tomorrow, and the Curragh with the Goff Sales race and the Beresford. But for this show's purposes, I think we can only touch on the television action and our best bets round to fit it in to the timescale. And joining me this evening are my regulars at the moment, which are, and we're hitting form. You can see the naps table. It's Nick Davis, it's Jack Veach, and John Lane. Good evening, chaps.
Evening.
Evening, chaps. Evening, all.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. This is it. We're in good form. We're very happy with our position. 37% return on investment to Fantasy Island prices, but it's still a good effort because I suggest anything above 30% overnight, and you are doing very well indeed. It's best bets round.
Such a regular turnout, like on the show now, isn't it?
It is.
It's like an episode of Bonanza where you got the 4 cart rates.
It is. This is it. I mean, we can only work with what we've got. And basically, the reason is, folks, is that obviously Jack and Nick can't do next week. They've got engagements. So it's a case of we have to work around, obviously...
squad rotation, isn't it?
Squad rotation. Yeah, indeed. And like I said, the jump season's kicking in soon. So hopefully we'll have some jumps correspondents returning. And maybe new ones. Watch this space for the winter. Watch this space. That's all I can say for now.
Fuck off, like.
Yeah, that's it. We'll leave them all to it. Indeed. It's the best bet round, folks. This is the round you like, especially the 3-pointers. I know you do. You love all the 3-pointers. You lot do. It comes to the 1-pointers then. And I'm going to come to the happy hammer after last night. Nick Davis for your 1-pointer.
Yeah. Well, it was the biting the nails hammer for the first hour, but never mind. Right, and Silver Cup. I think it was just... I don't think he has to have it deep, though he likes it. I was really impressed last time with Wob at Ripon. He's pulled clear of the 3 lengths, clear of the ones on the near side. And it's only the ones on the south side, like Sophia Starlight and Summerhand. That form's been franked as well, so with Summerhand winning again. He's got a midfield draw, so he can go wherever he wants. And Holly's not bad on front runners. So I think this one's going to go very close at 10-1, 1-point win, I think.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, look, you can't have 10s though, you greedy man. It's 9-1. It's 10-1 with Coral, but that's actually just gone. It's 9-1 generally available. So 1-point win, 1-1 with Holly Doyle. Nick, this is a good time to bring you in here because you taught me something last year on with this meeting on the sprint course. Now, the first 2 days, it very much looks like the stand side is not the place to be, right?
Yeah.
That's on what we've seen. But what did you say to me last year?
Oh, yeah. It switches around so well. It's a lot to do with it, but yes, it's got an awful habit of everyone going, oh, bronze. We look there, and so don't be dogmatic if you fancy one.
I think it was the year Stotty went right up the rail on Bielsa.
Yeah.
And you said to me on the pod, or it was either on the pod or it was on Twitter, and you said to me, don't be fooled that you've seen it many a time switch when it looks like it's low, it suddenly then is high for whatever reason. It's done it before. So
but
I think
the same with, if you look back at the years of the Hunt Cup and the Wokingham, and you'll be surprised how often it's the opposite side.
That's
Whether they even it up with a little bit of watering, or obviously they won't have done it this year. But
no.
I wouldn't. This is the first, I think it's the first time we've had some give in for about 3 years at this meeting as well.
Yeah, look, it's an interesting. It
used to be a thing. The wetter, the lower you wanted to be. It used to be a long time ago.
Yeah. So it might not suit high numbers tomorrow, but then again, it might. This is the thing. Didn't look like that today, in all fairness. But you never know. Thanks for that, Nick. Jack, coming to you.
Right, Lee, we're off to 3 o'clock at Ayr. The Firth of Clyde. I don't know if that was any good. Probably not. But
I thought it was an Indian.
yeah, it's an Indian Scotsman kind of hybrid, but we give it a go.
Raise a sigh of relief.
Yeah.
Anyway, onto the tip, which hopefully fares better than the accent there. Very much with the scaffolders Pretty Crystal here. Now, this has taken a proper hammering today. When I woke up, I think we were 9-1, 17-2. I was rubbing the hands together. I thought, here we go, this could be a max, but it's steadily gone down the pack into a 1-point bet. But I still make it some value. I think Rakia, who is the fav who was opened up at something like even money, 6-5, and it's gone out all the way out to 9-4. Look, it's been visually impressive in its 2 maiden wins thus far, second one under a penalty. It's obviously got more to give, but I still think that's short enough based on what we've seen so far. And I think this horse, Pretty Crystal's done very little wrong, really. Was 5th in the Albany, which was a pretty decent Albany in my opinion. Soprano has gone on to do decent things from there. Port of Fortuna likewise. Matrika won a Group 2 and then was put away. Since then, second to Sacred Angel in the Princess Margaret. I thought she travelled much the best that day, but just didn't quite pick up on the occasion. And last time out, I think it was a combination of probably the soft/heavy ground and the up to 7 furlongs, which I don't think quite suited. But she looked at, along with John's Carla's Way, the two of them, I think if you said to me 30 seconds out that neither of these two will win the race, you'd have been a million. So I think that the step back to 6 is a positive. She'll go fine on the grounds, and just made her a lot closer to the fav than she is. So at the 5-1, I think is just about still here. I'm happy to give her a shot at a 1-point win.
5-1 available with William Hill, Coral, Ladbrokes, and a few of the smaller firms, Boyle Sports, etc. It's a good one, Jack. Pretty Crystal for you in the Firth of Clyde. Jonas?
Sticking with the scaffolding theme for fans of scaffolding, is that a thing, by the way? Can you be a fan of scaffolding?
Yeah, I bet there's some real scaffolding geeks on erection processes.
Like people who travel from erection to erection.
From boozer to boozer.
Anyway, I digress somewhat. 3:45 at York.
Yeah.
Zip hasn't had things drop right for him this year, but I think this might be the race he's been waiting for. Now, the more rain, the better, obviously. And I'm taking a bit of a punt that will get a bit more. But I think he's got a nice draw if they come stand side, which I'm sure they will anyway.
Yeah, they tend to at this time of year, don't they? Yeah.
Irrespective. I think there's going to be enough pace on to make this interesting. So, to land a double for our friendly scaffolding fan, I'm going with Zip, 1-point win.
At 20s, at 2 blind 20.
Yeah.
For John at York, hoping that they're going to come stand side, which they have on occasion when the ground has a bit of juicing in the autumn at York. So John makes a pertinent point there that the draw might not be all that bad. I'm going head-to-head with Jacko in the Firth of Clyde. And it's one that John nearly half put me off this because it was a horse he said in his column on Patreon, £7 a month, lovely value that is. And he said he didn't think Navassa Island had made significant progress from debut in terms of physically, which is always a worry. I always listen to John and Adam Norman. I was a little bit perturbed. However, I am satisfied that performance was a lot better than what it seemed at the time when John reviewed it, because John said, it was all out to beat an 80s cunt in this and that. Well, the second obviously has franked the form since in no uncertain terms. The one that Jack liked on the stand side of Toomey's won a Group 3 since, and obviously that was on the wrong side. But I still like Navassa Island enough to suggest that this price is a little bit out of kilter. I don't think it's been afforded the respect it deserves at around the 11-2 mark. And that's where my 1-point win against Jack is going for Navassa Island. So fuck the scaffolder, you two, as we finish round 1. There we go. Round 2, then 2 pointers. 2 points for Eurovision fans. Jonas.
There's a very interesting race at Newbury in the 350 because our hero, the shirt, as the horse we sent to Deauville to debut. I'm after taking this on because I don't think this wants the sort of ground we were looking at when we just watched Concord sluice in. So I'm taking this on with Trafalgar Square, Mr. Baldwin's. I think he can put his course experience to good use. It's always handy if you've been on a straight course before, isn't it? Loads of these won't handle conditions. I think this lad ought to. For me, he's all about stamina. He's got abundant stamina. And he's got the sort of frame that have you thinking he's going to be okay on the prevailing ground. I think he'll handle it like an experienced brass handles cock.
Might be the best line, that.
For me, I think he'll do the Haggis train favourite. 2 points win.
11-4 generally available. What I thought about this, John, was the really kind ride this got on debut. And yeah, that's what I was taken by. I thought...
I think it's a nice horse, this. I've got this half in mind for Queen's Rise next year. I'm working back over.
And it is the Horrid Hill School EBF Novice Stakes. When I first looked at the title, I thought, the Horrid Hill? No, it can't be. But yeah, the Horrid Hill Novice Stakes.
Be a horrid sight a furlong out, I tell you, with this lot. But...
yeah. But I did like the softness, on the kindness of the riding.
Yeah, I think it's all right, this.
2 points for John at 11-4. Right, coming back to me then, quickly. Going back to Ayr, 150 race there, the Doonside Cup, the doom of everyone. And this is wrong for me. It's the wrong way around in the betting, and I'll stand by it. Why is Pride of America 5-2? Answers on a postcard, and why is Royal Rhyme 6-4? One's rated £2 higher than the other, which is Pride of America. One horse will go to the front and nothing will take it on, which they won't, because if you take that on, you're a fucking idiot. It loves the ground. It wears its heart on its sleeve. Nothing will beat that in a battle. And I just think, no, it's wrong. And Pride of America, for me, should be fav. Will go from the front. I think the market will reflect that, because nothing will... If you take this on, you beat. If you go the pace this was, at Goodwood, he had to waste a lot of energy early, but from the wide draw, won't have to here. Just go straight up front. I'm not saying park the bus, just go an even pace. I don't think anything beats it. So Pride of America for me, 2 points win, 5-2. That's with 365 Powers and Betfair. Good bet indeed. Jack Beach.
Well, we're off to HQ, and I'm pleased to say I believe we're back on the Rowley Mile after a horrid summer on the July course. So yeah. I thought I would kick things off with a bet in the Says trial in the 4 o'clock. Now, this is a horse of our friend Quentin Franks's here, Campaign Trail. I really like the way this horse is improving, and I think that last win at Nottingham, he still looked really green when he hit the front, but I just think this horse wants further and further and further. He probably win a national or something the way he's heading, and I think there's still some juice off that mark of 83. He's entered in the Says itself, but I think he's something like 67th on the list or something, so they're going to have to get a couple of wins or a win and a penalty or something to get him in. But looking at tomorrow's race, I don't think he's got much to beat. Extensio, the dirty Irish trained horse, I guess we're potentially running into one there, but looking at his form, I don't think it's overly strong, and obviously he's got to give about £8 or £9 in weight for age to Campaign Trail, and I do like backing 3-year-olds this time of the year. I think the weight for age really comes into its own, and this looks like a horse who's going the right way. I think the up to 2 miles 2 is a positive and was very strong with him. He's open fav, but I think he'll go off somewhat shorter than he is at sort of 7-2. So yeah, 2 point win, Campaign Trail.
Good stuff. 7-2 generally available. Thank you, Jack. Nick Davis, your 2 pointer to finish the round.
Right then, I'm going to go for the Ayr Gold Cup and one away from the front of the market. I think the main pace here. I mean, there is Mr. Wagyu High, but he hasn't been blasting off recently. I think the blasters here are going to be Guiador from 8, Pause from Thought from 7. They'll take each other on, and Lethal Levi in 6. I mean, 3 of them all together. That is going to be the pace in the race. And I'm going to go for the Haggis train one dropping down in trip, Monster Zip. He's been dropped a pound. I mean, you couldn't... Last time against Baradar, he finished second on this side of the course. So you can't get him. I mean, before then, he's been a little bit out of form, but behind Biggles, which wasn't bad. And Witch Hunter in a very, 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 very competitive thing. But before he beat there, he travels very well. He pulls. Now he's in 10 here. He's got the 3 front runners next to him. He's not going to pull because they'll be going on pace. 7 furlong horses often win this one. And I think he's just about handicapped, but he can run to a little bit more than that. He can ride to 105, 110. So I think at 20, was he 22s, 25s? I think a point each way with a few pegs will see give you a good run for your money.
25 to 1 is available for Montecebe of the shirts. That is with 365, but I can only give you 22s, Nick.
22s, how many pegs?
6.
6 pegs, yeah. I think you'll get you go close there. I think that those 3 together and that right together in those low stores are going to give a low an edge here.
Be interesting how the draw does pan out. Right, that finishes the Deux Points. Now it's on to max bet rounds. It's lucky 15s round. Yes, this is the time. We're going to nail it tomorrow. I can feel it. Who should we kick off with? Jack.
Right, Lee. 410 Ayr in the nursery, and I'm very much with City Burglar here. So horse has been on my radar, I think all of our radars, for a little while, and eagle-eyed punters will have seen 2 very timely form boosts today. So in his second race in a maiden at Newbury, he was just edged out 3/4 of a length by King's Gambit. That would have won today if not for some interference from a loose horse and a bit of inept riding from Stotty, but he only went down ahead, giving £6 to the winner. So I don't think that's done any danger for the form at all. And then last time out, he was third in what I thought at the time looked like a decent maiden at Salisbury. And we got a nice form boost today from Boyfriend in Firth, who won the race prior to King's Gambit, the nursery, off a mark of 80. So I think that's solid form. I think a mark of 85 won't be this horse's ceiling. And I know conditions will be on the better side tomorrow, but if it is still softish ground, that'll be no problem. Cracksman out of a Dubai. It's a lovely family that old Jeff Smith has got here. The dam is a half to Arabian Queen, the Juddmonte winner. And I just think this horse, is bred to be much better than 85. And I think the race will set up nicely for him tomorrow. I think the scaffolder, although tipping one of his earlier, I don't think his horse is going to be much of a danger based on his form so far. And Making Dreams is pretty exposed at this point. And I think we've got a horse on an upwardly mobile curve here, and the only thing that get us beat is Bent Jim, but I'll take the chance either way. 3-point win.
Engine Jim. On the good thing. Go on the good thing.
Yeah, it's a bit like my Scottish accent earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. Bit of Indian there.
Yeah.
For City Burglar, Indian Jim, 9-4. What's not to lie? 130 with Denise, but that's the traders holding that, isn't it? So all the traders can get on their dodgy accounts, and then they get on overnight, and then all of a sudden it goes 5-2, and then they have a bit more on, and then that's it. Poor Denise, she's getting robbed by her own traders.
Get robbed by me as well.
Yeah, well, there you go. If you got a bet 365 account, there you go.
WhatsApp's been in full working order this afternoon when I saw that.
Yeah, absolutely, why not? And if you've got that facility, make use of it. Good stuff, Jack. That's a good thing. That goes off 6-4, well backed. I'd be surprised if that gets beat. I'll be honest. If everything goes right, I'll be surprised if that does get chinned. Jonas?
I'm off to the Curragh, the Goffs Million.
Ooh.
A horse that made a terrific impression on me first time out, and that is the Fetus's Guildenstern.
That's Scottish.
Yeah.
Go on.
It sounds like a blend of whiskey, doesn't it?
It does actually.
Might not be. Anyway, this one was utterly unfancied and looked pretty slack pre-race, to be fair. In the maiden won by Diego Velasquez and was allowed to go for 80-1. And I was half and half. I was nearly tempted to shove a little bit on this each way before the race, because such was the impression the horse made on me. I thought, that's a lovely scopy horse. That I love Hector Protector as a sire of dams as well. I think you get a horse with plenty of length and scope about him, and this one's really got the lot. I like him very much. He pulled out enough in the race. Bruce still found him at the end. I love it if they maybe go through the boards at the Curragh, and this fucker did. While I appreciate he hasn't got the form in the book against some of these, I genuinely think he's got the thick end of a stone and a half improvement in him from the maiden. He is a very, very confident shout tomorrow.
Oof.
3 points win.
Oh, it's not even each way with the 4 pegs or like that. It's on the fucking nose. Guildenstern for Jonas. Eggs. Three on the nose. Eggs. That was very confident. Did you hear how confident he was, folks? Guildenstern, by the way, John, was a character in Hamlet.
Aye.
And he was a cunt.
Well, yeah.
Did he get killed? They all did, didn't they?
The culture show this, isn't it, Alan?
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, Guildenstern, character in Hamlet. Yeah, some history there for you, mere oiks.
You get the lot on this show, don't you?
You do. You get fucking all sorts. I mean, that's a fact of facts. Right. Good stuff, John. I love it. Absolutely love it. Love it when you're that confident on an 8 poke. None of this 6-4 nonsense. Right. I'm going to the Silver Cup to take on West Ham away, which is never a good thing, playing West Ham away. You need to come tooled up. Definitely. Gulliver, yeah. I admit, right, I am less confident now than I was yesterday, because I do feel that the stand side is possibly not the place to be, in the centre. See, that's where they've all been coming. But as Nick said in the past, he warned me about this many a time about going to bed with the air draw. I'm still taking the chance that Gulliver, despite the draw, is the best handicapped horse in the race. The simple reason the win at Sutherley had no right to do. Adam Norman, our Northern Paddock judge, noted him the time before as being very, very well and sprightly in the paddock, as if the horse had come alive prior to the Southwell win. The time suggests that Gulliver ran to just below 100. So off 89, I am very keen on this horse, and I think as long as things go right in the run and there's nothing to do with draws or anything like that, he will win the Silver Cup. It's like I would have been more confident had I seen some stand-side evidence over the last 2 days. So my confidence is on the wane. So bear that in mind. But if you want to be on the best horse at the weights, this is the lad, and I'm entitled to take a price of 8-1 with William Hill and Betfair. 9s with Paddy's stand out, but 8-1 I'm entitled to, and it's on the nose, 3 points win. Nick Davis.
Right then, we're going to Newbury in the 425, and we're going with Jim Boyle, who's got Ossing Murphy on this in Hosler. Now, this one's record from 7 furlongs and soft reach 1-1. His last victory at Chester, where he really destroyed Gorak and Portsmouth Thought. Those two now are higher by £18 and £12.
Yes.
He's only £3 higher. Got Mr. Murphy on. Wasn't a bad run last time out, but in a hot race, Masters Offany at Chester. Staying on to really finish fourth. Never been dangerous, but just stayed on and ran on. He's got back on soft ground again tomorrow. I've seen Murphy up, and I had him a lot shorter than the price he is at the moment.
He is 4-1 generally available. He's 13-2 with Denise, but again, that's for the traders, Nick.
Yeah.
But listen, honestly, you make a great case. This horse has an outstanding chance in this. It's another one like Jack's City Burglar. Go on, the good thing. Two very good naps there, and to be fair to John's, I've not looked at that race in depth, so I can't really comment on the Gospelian. So John's going to get me looking at that after this show. But some terrific naps. So I thank you, gentlemen, for these terrific bets, and hopefully we'll show the listeners a good profit on Saturday. Right, onto the television action without further ado, where we've got 9 TV races on UK terrestrial ITV television. Will they wheel Ken out, John?
Well, you'd hope so, wouldn't you? You know, I mean, let's be fair, we haven't got much hope without him. How will we not have looked well?
So, okay, we'll go to Newbury first of all. Then where it is slopped up at Newbury. The Times suggest that this is quite a testing surface, just on today, and they've been finishing pretty legless late on. Might dry up a little bit tomorrow to become very tacky and cloy. John. Cloy, like farmers feel cloy. So what it will suit, we're not sure. But the 130 Newbury, Sense of Duty, goes off the 13 to 8 favourite at the moment on the overnight prices of the shirts after a long absence. Any view here, chaps?
Yeah,
Well,
you don't want to be running on this after a long absence.
Yeah, I think that gets pulled. Evidence possibly being that the St Albans Bloodstock lot have got Nymphadora entered, who loves this ground. So I think they'll take a view in the morning. I mean, listening to the shirt throughout the summer, he's been ultra cautious about this one, and it would be against his modus operandi to run her tomorrow, I'd say.
It's in a Beverley, it's in the 4 day at Beverley as well in the conditions stakes, isn't it?
They're desperate to get a run in because they want to go champion sprint and time's running out. But yeah, wouldn't surprise me if they opt for that instead, Nick, to be honest.
It's a very good shout. I'll give you a bit of info here if you like. She's flying. I would suggest that any listener takes the 16 to 1 each way, if you like, for the champion sprint. She's been absolutely thrashing the listed winner at Ayr today. They're absolutely waxing lyrical about her. The thing is, obviously, like what the chaps have just pointed out, will they run her on this? Maybe not. But the better option, whatever you do, if they do run her, they might just look after her. Surely the bet is the 16s each way in the champion sprint, because we've seen what the sprint division is this year. She comes here fresh, and she's in blistering order. This is the thing. We know how good a filly she is. I mean, to thump a naff by 4.5 in that chip chase, how good is that? That's rated 109 now. That looks pretty good form to me. Bielsa was in third. It looks really, really solid. And that was 6.5 lengths further back. This is a serious filly, isn't it? So it can't be 16 to 1 because I know that she's in cracking order at home. So I would take the 16s. Any views on that?
No, I'd agree, Lee. I mean, if that, I'm sure that info's certainly credible. And yeah, as you said, she looked Group 1 last year, didn't she? So I think that's a very, very solid angle.
And that race could cut up.
I think tomorrow is a really a no bet race, isn't it?
I'm not advocating betting her tomorrow, but yeah. Certainly she's in cracking order anyway. There's no problems as in terms of she's obviously. I don't know what the setback was, but clearly it's not affecting her now on the gallop. John, thought?
Yeah, no bet for me.
Agreed. Tricky if you're playing in the win markets, but I agree with Jack and Nick that the Fav might just come out, given like Nymphadora's preference for a testing surface. St Albans, they've got quite a few good runners this autumn. 205 Newbury is the Autumn Cup. Valsadi's current market leader at 11-4. Thoughts on this? Nick, I'm coming to you. I reckon you've got a good view on this.
Oh, well, I mean, it all depends what pace Not So Sleepy and Sea King set, isn't it? I mean, Not So Sleepy can be good off a break. He's getting on. He can still set a decent pace with Mr. Murphy up. Get Shirty. He's a big price here if he decides, and he hasn't had really soft ground for a while. I think the last time he had soft ground was when he won the Haydock Old Newton Cup, was it? The Old Newton Cup.
Off 105.
Off 105. And he started to look very, very well handicapped. He didn't ride a bad race at York. Haydock was a bit more disappointing. It's at the prices here, I wouldn't be really with Valsad and Sea King at all. I might have a few quid on Get Shirty just in case at double figure digits.
Yep. Talking of digits, John, anything that you'd like here?
I wouldn't be having a bet. If somebody put a gun to my head, I'd go with the German sire, Valsad.
He loves the German.
He fucking does it. It's his mega system. I don't know where I've seen it, but there's an Olderflug dam sire this weekend. You're gonna have to search that out. I forgot it. I did look this afternoon and thought, Olderflug. He loves an Olderflug, does John? Poor Olderflug. R.I.P. Yeah. His system's going to be ruined soon when all the progeny stop turning out.
I'll dig another one out from the grocer price. One bad.
Jack, any viewer?
Yeah, a bit of a trappy affair. I think the 2 3-year-olds are both interesting horses, but not necessarily for tomorrow. I think Salt Bay will do well to defy a marker 105. I still think there's a horse there, but yeah, going to have to get that marked down a few pounds, and that might be the mission tomorrow. Laffy for the shirt, somewhat interesting. Nice soft ground, maiden form back end last year. Bit of a layoff though, been gelded, but yeah, I mean, if any was interesting, it would probably be Laffy for the shirt.
Yeah, interesting take. Probably get Shirty for me at a price, given how well handicapped it is for Megan's ex in the saddle, or soon to be ex. Gotta be, hasn't it? Gotta be. It's Roy Orbison, that one. It's gotta be.
Stop prediction there.
Yeah, it's gotta be. Down the pan. One for the gutter. That's
Very
that
good.
right. 240 Newbury, the duty free handicap. Ralph Beckett, he loves being called Ralph. Balance play, that's going to make the running. There's no pace, but it's not that well handicapped, I don't think. Mustazid loves the mud by territories, and they claim him for the first time this year. I thought that was that's the one I'd probably bet. Le Mans won well at Salisbury last time, but I thought come up the best part of the track at Salisbury. They're not trying wide form yet at Salisbury. They should do. Wide form is the place to be there. And that was Toshi Zoo is interesting for Gobby Rog. Back to 10.
If there was more pace, I'd have gone nap on that.
That's the thing, John, isn't it? No pace. You've got Millie Boss drops out. Toshi Zoo drops out.
I mean, this is a fucking winner waiting to happen, this. When, if he ever gets this in the right race, I'm going to fucking jail for this.
Yeah.
But I mean, he hasn't run it in the right race all year.
No. I mean, Garci,
Yeah.
Garci, we can't have, can we? Because we think that's a shit house.
He's got 2 shit houses in there.
Yeah. I thought you might have had to put them in the same sort of a treble down together, have a run out the back together. I mean, he's running out of. We said that last time, Miller Boss. He's sort of running out of excuses for that, isn't he?
Yeah, and you've got Totnes off 90, and I think that sums her up really now. I think that literally is, and I don't think she'll handle ground this soft because she's been pulled out before on ground this soft. And
Kingman, isn't she? Sure.
Kingman, I can't have that 4-1. That's the one. That's the throwaway one that he took out.
Top's coming back to form. He's got a couple of bits of form. He wasn't started behind Dual Identity, but it was the first. I mean, don't forget, in soft ground on Chester in May, he was trying to give £2 to Pride of America,
which is exceptional form. Yeah, I think that's a fair point. You make I think I could see that running well. A lot of Jack Shannon's, I don't know if it's stuff that they get or buy or whatever, but a lot of theirs go well on soft ground. And like the winner today,
you could see that running really well, couldn't you? Because I mean, he's an old pro in the sense that he won't be pulling and racing and carrying on. He'll plough through the ground, and he seems to be reasonable nick. Whereas a lot of these are like, they're either cunts or want an end-to-end gallop, or they're handicapped up to the hilt. You know, you can see him as your each-way back, couldn't you, really?
If you get the dead 8, then yeah.
Yeah.
Surely the easy money is the back to lay balance play, because that's literally straight to the front. I know they've dropped it out last couple of times, but they will lead it. I'm certain of it.
You could take points out, couldn't you, for a one?
I think so. I think if you want an easy sort of lazy play, that's the one, because nothing else will go on. They'll all want to take a lead. A lot of them.
Yeah.
3:15, the Mill Reef, a race I like backing the winner of. Traditionally, it's just a race I've quite fondly having backed. I'll tell you which one it was quickly. It was Alchemate of Marcus Trigonins back in 2020. I had a good bet on that. Trumpets, Chris Paul.
Chris Paul already there.
Absolutely. But like, look, if you look at what's won this, it shouldn't be dismissed as like a shit race, really. You've had Harry Angel. All right, James Garfield's not gone on to make a sire, but Cassar, Pierre Lapin, Sakir. These are good animals that usually win this. And the
last drive back to this was bloody Local Suitor. Shows you how long ago that was.
Bloody hell. Yeah. Mr. Sketch was incredibly impressive at Salisbury last time and deserves favouritism. He's still quite a raw project. He wanders all over the fucking place. Right? You give him a crack with the right hand, he goes left. You give him a crack with the left hand, he goes right. And he just seems to be looking around him, I don't know if that's a good thing. It might be on heavy ground. At least he's not going to pull hard. That's the good thing. There's nothing worse on this ground. You back a fav, and it starts pulling and reefing. You won't get that with Mr. Sketch. He just gets on with it, and yeah, he might be a bit wayward in the closing stages, but that's what he does. That's his character. Hartem, I was quite insulted to see that at sixes. I think that's got very strong form, and I don't think he handled a really quick ground at York. I thought you can draw a line through that, and I thought Hartem, even giving the penalty away, wasn't bad at 6-1 each way. Chaps, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree with you, Lee. I don't like to back pretty exposed 2-year-olds at this time of year, but I think the two to me were Hartem and 7 questions. I mean, on the strength of the pair of their form, Hartem winning the Group 2 at Goodwood and 7 questions just getting touched off last time out at Kempton, handles the ground. Thought he ran really well in the champion 2-year-old race at Ripon. Got a bit of a strange ride that day, to be honest. I thought he looked the best horse in the race, to be honest. So yeah, I think if the fav is still green and all over the place on this kind of ground, I think those two against the field would be for me.
Jonas?
I think there's an interesting one at a price here. Spanish Phoenix of Andrew Baldwin's. Absolutely dotted up at Leicester on rotten ground in the spring. Then went to Ascot on quicker ground. Wasn't disgraced at all behind River Tiber in the Coventry. We know what he ran into at Newmarket.
And he led into the headwind.
Yeah. And then last time out, he simply didn't stay. He caught the eye in running because he was travelling. To me, this 6 on shit ground could be right up his alley. And I think 40-1 is plainly ridiculous.
Good case. Yeah. Nick?
No.
I fucking love it when he does that. Right, on to Ayr. Done the shit pit at Newbury. Right, 1:15 at Ayr, the opener, I thought was a fucking menace. What an horrible race this is.
Oh, great race, isn't it?
Oh, fuck off. What's the edge here? Come on, give me the angle here, Nick.
Well, let's have a look. Right, I've got to run you down them at the moment. Koi's probably near the top of his handicap mark. So he was pressured last time. Revich is probably near the top of his handicap because he won off 93 earlier in the year, but that was off a mental pace. Isla Kai, right near the top of his handicap. I nearly went for a couple of outsiders here. Sirona pulled like hell with Ryan Moore last time out at York over a 10 furlong trip. Before that was a decent runner-up. Might want it a bit firmer, but yeah, it's got form as a 2-year-old. It's a big price.
What are you saying about Joe Fanny there, taking over from old Brian?
Yeah,
but it is over a mile this time. They put up to 10 last time, and it took about 5 furlongs to settle. Tyson Rock probably needs it a bit faster. Paul Rushing have got a couple of decent runs, and those two are big prices. It's a fascinating race. Judgment Call probably need an unpossessed lead. That's my take on the race. But
no, it's good analysis. I mean, I just look at these kind of races where I can't see a way in. I can't just look at them and go, fucking hell. It's just they are what they are. If something gets a nicer trip than the other one, it'll win, and that one won't. It's one of them races. Jack, John, am I talking shit?
No,
agreed. Move on.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how I saw it. It was just like whatever gets the run of the race there probably wins because nothing's got any hand of its mark. Just about. Anyway, yeah, fuck that race. 150 Doonside Cup. Tell me I'm right. Put me on a shrine like the Brazilian thing on the mountain. You know, like that, like the big. You know, what's that called again? That's me on Pride of America.
It's actually called Corcovado. That's the name for it. I've been up there, man.
I know. I would say you've done more.
Nick's tried to ring in a bet from the top of that, haven't you?
He actually probably has. So Pride of America, chaps. I mean, what's not to like? I mean, am I wrong?
No, I think you're spot on. I mean, if
the price, the price.
Yeah. Yeah, Royal Rhyme far too short for me. The shirt's already stung me. An anti-post bet on my Prospero. I'm just going to stop back in. Well, I'm going to go and back Sense of Duty after this show, so that proves that system wrong. But I just can't get these shirt anti-post horses right. But yeah, no, I see the case. Luck in Brew's an interesting horse. I had that. I think I tipped that for the Oaks at one point. I mean, it hasn't run all year, so I've been waiting to see her. I think she'll probably need it, but she goes well on the slower conditions. So I think they'll look after her, certainly with Jim in the saddle, but it wouldn't surprise me to see her run well.
Jonas?
Has Freddie Larson had a winner since the Magnet Cup?
Probably not. Andromeda's Kingdom at Beverley. He loves that shit pit for Mick. And Maya Pitt, yeah, he's doing all right, yeah. Well, no, 2 winners.
Let's trail one here for you. Bateman's Bay.
Yeah.
Kevin Ryan. Interesting choice to start this one off in the Queen's Vase at Ascot this year, I thought. Given time to get over that traumatic experience. A new base, so the ground should be nigh on perfect, I would say. And with a fair bit of potential, I think. I mean, it comes into this rated 100. He's only had 4 runs in his life. What's not to like?
Well, Beckett to Kevin Ryan.
Hey, Kevin's all right. He's trained a winner or 2. Tom Ames up. What do you want?
How many Abbeys have you won?
He's got to get 2% from somewhere, hasn't he?
He's got to get that percentage up, yeah. I mean, it's his continual feeding up of Amy that I'm worried about, you know. I mean, poor Amy, she's gone from 8 stone to 14 stone.
I know she's going to pop soon, isn't she?
Yeah, because Tom don't want her to leave him. I mean, this is the whole thing. The last bird Tom had with his South African lass, and you know what South Africans are like, Jack. And she left him. She left him and upset him. And so that's why I reckon he's gone off here. Tom's sat there feeding her Dominoes every night. Yeah, that's it. Poor Amy. Anyway, yeah, get shut to 2%, Tom, an idiot. 225 Ayr, the Silver Cup. Me and Nick's tipped in this. We've gone Gulliver and Wob Wob Wob, 2 fancied runners. Any views here, Jack and John?
Rather boringly, I'm with Lee on Gulliver.
Me too, to simplify that. I completely get the case. Yeah, I get your point about the draw, Lee, but like Nick said, I wouldn't look too much into it. I'd go more on pace, really, and I think he's drawn, perfectly fine from that perspective.
Well, we'll see. It's the only thing puts me off. I think he wins, but for that, if it's a fair race and there's no bias, then I couldn't be on anything else in the race. It's that simple. 3 o'clock is the Firth of Clyde. Myself and Jack have gone head to head with Pretty Crystal for Jack. Has made a very good case for that, and myself with Navassa Island from Mick O'Callaghan's yard. John, I'm intrigued to get your view on this.
I wouldn't say I have a strong view on it. I think the one open to most progression is possibly Great Generation, Marco Botti's.
Yeah.
But I don't really have a lot between a few of these. I mean, I do think Navassa Island's becoming exposed and what have you. I don't think she's got the physical scope to find a lot of what she's done.
Yeah.
But what she's done might be enough. I think it's a nasty little race, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, she's quality. The one that Navassa Island beat came out and won impressively at Newbury, and then got pretty well beat in the Group 1 behind Fallen Angel. So it's hard to sort of quantify after that. It's a difficult sort of race. I just felt that, like I said, if it weren't for your paddock comments, I would have been very confident on Navassa Island. I would have been. I'd have probably upgraded the bet really from a 1-pointer, but yeah, we'll see.
I mean, one point I would make, I think Rakaya Owen's horse that's favourite at the minute. I think if you fancy that, I think you could do better backing it in running, because I think that might struggle for pace early on in this.
Yeah.
I'm pegging this as being ready for 7 already, and I think this will show a fair price in running after a couple of furlongs, to be honest.
It's interesting what Boris says there, because he's worried about the ground. He said,
well, she should damn silly mare, isn't she?
Yeah, he said, well, she'd be fine on good to soft. He said he wouldn't want any more rain, and this is thing, you never know up there. But that's something to probably look out for. And she was put in very short, like Jack said. ridiculous price on the early price stuff.
I think that's the thing. I mean, if you could layer at 9 to 4, that's probably the bet, really.
Mm.
Yeah.
What were we, 11:08, Jack, earlier this week, isn't it?
Yeah, it might have even been shorter, Lee, to be honest. It's just, it's gone one way and it's gone completely out, hasn't it?
And you've got Indian Jim on. That's your second note. He might have took 10 out in India, who knows?
Save it for the 410, Jim. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's only Owen Burrows, for fuck's sake. I mean, fuck him. He's going nowhere. Nick Davis?
No.
He might win the fucking yeah.
335 Ayr is the Gold Cup, the finale. I have absolutely zero view on this. I hate the fucking race. I never back the winner. In fact, I've never had a Gold Cup winner in my life. It's that bad a race for me. So I've just retired from tipping in the Ayr Gold Cup. I'm trying to think. Nick, you've got a bet in this.
Yeah, Montesib, yeah.
Yeah, you've got Montesib. Jack and John, I need your views on this.
Yeah, I mean, I've had an anti-post bet a little while ago on Rohan. He's £4 out of the weights, but I wrote this horse off a little while ago. I thought he was dead and buried, but I've seen signs of improvement. Not last time out in the Sprint Cup. I don't really know why they ran him in that, but that Racing League performance at Newcastle screamed of a horse that's got a race in him to me. And back in a handicap on favoured ground, he usually comes good this time of year. I think I remember backing him last year for the Group 2, Group 3 at Ascot. What's the name of it? The one there's like a prep run for the Sprint Cup. Might be next weekend. But he does come good this time of year. He'll be held up. I am a bit worried that he's right on the rail. And obviously, like you said in the other race, Lee, we'll see how things play out. I mean, if they're all going up the other side in the Silver Cup, then forget it. But I think held up with a decent ride, he could be a player late on in the race. So yeah, as I said, back to him earlier in the week, and I'll stick my hat with Rohan.
Good stuff, John.
This is going to sound fucking contrary now. Earlier in the week, I had an anti-post bet on Rohan. No run when needed in the Group 1 Sprinters Haydock. Those who want to watch it back, he was on the point of making his run and couldn't get out. He was switched left and right and all to no avail. He was closing everything down the last 100 yards. In the manner of a horse that's in peak form, I thought. He's won the Wokingham twice, so he's good in big fair handicaps. He's suited it to a hold-up ride of strong pace that he gets here, and he acts on any ground. So I don't really see a downside to him. I just couldn't put him up as a tip because I've done better out the price than anybody would backing him now. So
yeah,
that's the only reason I didn't put him up, really.
No, but it's still good. People like to know what you're on. I mean, that's the main thing. They know what like you're sat on the psychiatrist's couch cheering on in the final furlong. They like to know that, John. I'm sure they do.
I'm usually off the couch if I'm in the...
Go on, you good thing. Go on, you bastard. Right.
Hit the fucker. Hit the fucker.
Hit it. You know,
if you anything, you get your fucking...
Yeah, and then Animal Rising come along and can't say that. You can't say that.
Never mind this. He said cattle prod on him. Never mind it.
Yeah. I'd still have Spurs, John.
Oh yes.
Right, that's enough of our chat now. It's terrible chat tonight.
You Spurs, really? You never see them these days.
No.
Yeah.
I'm advocating the use of Spurs. I'll probably get sued by Owen Burrows. And that's all in the week of the Bar Stewards. So I hope you enjoy this weekend's punting and, of course, the show. And we're back on Sunday, me, John and Chris, talking complete waffle, as we always do on Sunday. So from the usual team, me, John, Nick and Jack, bye for now.